Women are a force to be reckoned with, and an asset to technological innovation that we'd be foolish not to recognize. In fact, I'd argue that we owe the prospect of artificial intelligence and really the possibility for accelerated innovation pretty much all to a woman from the 1800s that has been lovely already foreshadowed here. Ada Lovelace is a household name, especially to the handful of precarious young girls that think she's kind of great. I was certainly one of them before I became a young woman that now thinks she's also kind of great. Ada Lovelace wrote the foundation for what was to become the most important and universal language on this earth today. She laid the groundwork for the very first computer algorithm. She took a keen interest in mechanics, and when she met Charles Babbage at age 17, she took a special interest in his work on the difference machine, later than his more popular work, the analytical machine. She read it, translated it into English, and provided her own notes or modifications, so to speak. Except these notes turned out to be 3 times the length of the original manuscript. And she recognized that if you could take this machine, it had potential that stretched far beyond just crunching numbers. You could use it to analyze video, images, music, and within this manuscript of hers, 3 times as long as the original, she included a step-by-step on how you could use this to compute Bernoulli's numbers. So then, a code, an algorithm. On a little additional historic side note, she and another woman, Grace Hopper, actually share the historic credit for coining the term bug in the program. So there you go. It's clear that women have been the silent infantry of technology since the dawn of civilization. And now especially that artificial intelligence is becoming such a natural part of the layman's existence and reality, I think it's time that we give credit where credit is due. For far too long, women have sort of been kept on the sidelines. We seem to be under this mass cultural delusion that women need to be manipulated, lured, or guided into actually wanting to pursue science. But we've got it all wrong. The idea of experimentation and discovery knows no gender identity or social construct. It's entirely neutral. However, this reality, the idea that women are remaining locked out from the digital economy and age, is revealed far too cruelly by something as simple as car crash test dummies. Although men certainly are far more overrepresented in statistics, when a woman first is involved in a car crash, she is 47% more likely to be seriously or severely injured, 71% more likely to be moderately injured, and 17% more likely to die. And these numbers are the result of the fact that women tend to be, on average, shorter and lighter, and also sit further in the front or closer to the steering wheel, meaning that our driving positions don't really align with the standard, or the male idea that we conduct our tests and security checks around. These numbers were all revealed by a study conducted by the University of Virginia in 2011 at their Center for Applied Biomechanics. And so sure, this is aging research, but the introduction of artificial intelligence has not been able to mitigate the negative impacts of centering men in our technological dialogues. Currently, women are also seeing this AI threat when it comes to their finances and jobs, because occupations that primarily employ women are also looking at the greatest AI replacement threat. And additionally, women seem to be disproportionately affected online, with their safeties being compromised by the introduction of AI and the potential for the creation and spreading of deepfake pornographic content. This idea that quote-unquote intimate images that don't even truly exist or have never been produced in real life could be spread and weaponized to hurt them and their reputations. Because even in 2024, we seem to place more value on a woman's sexual history than her actual aptitude and competence within a subject. Deepfakes are basically defined as work or content that has been produced or edited in some aspect by artificial intelligence and has been mapped by numerous serious media outlets as a serious threat to democracy because it could be, for example, utilized to create images or videos of presidents and world leaders uttering things or proclaiming things that have never actually been said in real life. Or if you look at it through a more feminist lens, you could also very easily, without a lot of niche interest or expertise, for example, get a girl to undress. So in a world where we're able to reduce a woman when we see that kind of content to just the picture that is being materialized before us, this becomes really dangerous. And a reason why women have to live on edge in the palm of dangerous men, fearing that their reputations, their careers, and everything they've worked for could collapse. The idea that their innate value as a person could be diminished simply because of this distribution. And this is sort of where this consent question comes back into play, because is it really that serious if it's not actual content, if it's something that's just been mass-produced or faked? Naturally, the answer should be glaringly obvious that yes, it is incredibly dangerous, if not even worse. In addition to technology, I think it's important that we also reflect on literature. I am a great lover of literature, and while women have certainly engineered a world and been the primary architects of a world that is almost seeming to exclude them, I think Jane Austen, for example, is a lovely woman to look through when looking at literature. In fact, she practically carried me throughout my tween years, and from the magnificent pen of Austen, the novel Persuasion was born. And there's a certain quote there that's been sort of tattooed on my heart ever since the first time I read it. In essence, it goes, "I have never opened a book that did not speak upon the inconstancy of woman. Songs and proverbs all talk about women's fickleness, but perhaps you could say these were all written by men." I think that's a really nice way to sort of sum up STEM, so science, technology, engineering, mathematics, artificial intelligence, and the tech sphere in general. Really nice. Women have, like I said, been the primary architects and engineers of a world that doesn't seem to want to accommodate them, even though it eventually and inevitably is going to have to. And I'm not saying, and I'm definitely not under the belief that if we were to lose every man that's been employed in the tech sphere altogether, that we'd somehow benefit from that. But when a field entirely oriented around innovation, discovery, and experimentation gets a male-dominated label, I think it's fair to say that we've made a mistake. A lapse in judgment, perhaps, where we've diminished and degraded the women that look to tech spheres with hopeful eyes and imaginations, and essentially signal to them that they don't really belong. I'm really excited about pursuing STEM. I really have high ambitions of becoming a theoretical physicist, but I don't think that I want to do this in a world where women aren't as comfortable taking the stage or taking the lead, because I have a name and I have a story that I'm writing, yes. And sure, I might be the main character, but I don't think I can grow into myself without inspiring role models that can take the stage and feel comfortable pursuing their dreams as well. People that I can look up to and learn from. And I genuinely believe that AI is fascinating. I'm a serious lover and promoter of AI, thinking that it can be used to promote a more egalitarian and equal world for all of us. But first, we need to create that equal world, because it's only as good as the society it has to reflect. Women belong in the digital economy. And so while white-collar women fear their finances and job security, any woman really lives on edge, fearing what could happen to them online. And women that have aspirations within tech are systematically kept locked out, without their aptitude really being any sort of reason or groundwork for it. In fact, this is a field that we created, that we founded, and it's been seized from us. And I think it's time to take that back. I think it's time that we change the narrative. And I'm really looking forward to creating a more equal society that our robots can learn from, because they are, after all, the greatest reflection of our own prejudice. Thank you.